daughters, some are his cousins, uncles, just so many different family relationships there. So this is what's meant by relationship in spontaneous love. All these devotees have spontaneous love for Krishna. The next section is called Eligibility for Spontaneous Devotional Service. Who is eligible for Raganuga Bhakti? Persons desiring to follow in the footsteps of such eternal devotees of the Lord as the Vrishnis and the denizens of Vrindavan are called Raganuga devotees, which means that they are trying to attain to the perfection of those devotees. Those Raganuga devotees do not follow the regulative principles of devotional service very strictly, do they? But by spontaneous nature, they become attracted to some of the eternal devotees such as Nanda or Yashoda, and they try to follow in their footsteps spontaneously. There is a gradual development of the ambition to become like a particular devotee, and this activity is called Raganuga. Okay? So, yes.
What you just read, you said try to follow spontaneously. But that seems like kind of not compatible.
Well, no.
You cannot try.
What it means is that when you are following the path of external regulative devotional service, the impetus comes from outside. You see? Like, for example, you see your spiritual master doing certain activities, and so you try to emulate, you try to follow the spiritual master. Or you see the other devotees doing this and that. Or you read in the Shastra that you were supposed to do certain things. And so you try to follow that. And that standard, or the impetus for that devotional service, is external to oneself. However, in spontaneous devotional service, the impetus for devotional service comes from within oneself. See, that's what spontaneous means. You see? But this can actually be developed.
That's the tricky part.
Well, it's a little bit tricky, but try to understand that most people come to devotional service on the platform of regulative service. Okay? So at a certain point in that regulative service, one sits down and has a serious talk with himself and goes, I've been following all these rules and regulations, and this is very nice, and I feel purified. And certainly I've made much more advancement in spiritual life than I ever have by any other method. But there's still something missing. There's something in the core of my heart which is still not satisfied, still not fulfilled. This devotional service is very wonderful, And I can feel something that, like, Krishna is satisfied by it. But at the same time, I can also feel that he wants something more. That he could be even more happy, more satisfied by my devotional service. How can I do this? Well, let's see. If I read the stories in the Shastra of the great devotees and how they satisfied Krishna by their devotional service, I can see a common thread, a common trait amongst all of them, which is at some point in their life they made a big decision, a big determination to serve Krishna in a certain way. See? Like Krishna in Bhagavad-gītā talks about vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasayatmika means firm determination. Okay, so all the great devotees who achieved success in devotional service, they made this determination how they were going to serve Krishna. And they usually did this either by association of a great devotee, such as their spiritual master, or by following the examples of great devotees that they heard about, either through the scripture or through some other way. For example, Prahlad Maharaj, sorry, not Prahlad Maharaj, because he had a direct spiritual master, but Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj heard that great devotees go to the forest and chant mantras. They go to the forest, they perform austerities, and they chant mantras. So he said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to approach Krishna by going to the forest and performing severe austerities and chanting mantras. And that's what he did. See? So other devotees, when they approach this stage of their devotional service, they look into the Shastra and they see, well, there's all these different devotees and they all have a different kind of relationship with Krishna. So what kind of relationship do I want with Krishna? How can I follow the example of these great devotees? And after a while, he finds one devotee or one class of devotees that inspires him that yes, I want to serve Krishna in this way. And then from inside, from his own determination, he makes that decision, that determination, that vyavasayatmika buddhi, that unbreakable determination to serve Krishna in that particular way, based on his own taste, his own attraction for the service of a particular class of devotee, either in the scriptures or in his own life that he sees. So this is how one develops spontaneous service. See? It's not like somebody came along and told him, hey, you should serve Krishna like this or like that. No, it came from his own spontaneous desire to serve Krishna in that way. You see? That's the difference. It's a decision that's made on his own determination. See? And this is why, even though it says they don't follow the regulative principles very strictly, what that means is they don't live like a rigid, regulative lifestyle. They still follow the regulative principles in the sense that they don't fall down into material consciousness. They don't commit sinful activities. They don't commit offenses either. Pure devotees. Raganuga Bhakti. They're already beyond that. They're already beyond the stage of anartha nivritti. So there are no offenses, there are no anarthas, no unwanted things in their character. They're very, very pure. But they want to go higher, they want to go further, they want to reach a more intense stage of love of Krishna. They take this on their own initiative. It's like they've already gone far enough, to earn liberation. They're not concerned with liberation. They're not concerned with stopping sinful activities or anything like that. They want to go farther. They want to go higher. They want to go to a more intense, closer platform of relationship and service. So they make this great decision, this great vow, this great determination that I want to serve Krishna like this. And they approach Krishna like that, and they beg for that service. And then they study the great devotees in that particular mood for clues. See? And then gradually, slowly, one little step at a time, this relationship becomes revealed to them internally. It's an amazing thing. It's the most fantastic thing. Because it's Krishna directly revealing to his devotee how he wants the devotee to serve him. It's just fantastic. You got to get there. You have to become spontaneous devotee. So, there is a gradual development of the ambition to become like a particular devotee, and this activity is called raganuga. We must always remember, however, that such eagerness to follow in the footsteps of the denizens of Vraja, Vrindavan, is not possible unless one is freed from material contamination. In following the regulative principles of devotional service, there is a stage called anartha nivritti, which means the disappearance of all material contamination. Sometimes someone is found imitating such devotional love, meaning spontaneous devotion, but factually he is not freed from anarthas or unwanted habits. It has been seen that a so-called devotee proclaims himself a follower of Nanda, Yashoda, or the gopis, while at the same time his abominable attraction for mundane sex life is visible. Such a manifestation of so-called divine love is mere imitation and has no value. When one is actually spontaneously attracted to the loving principles of the gopis, there will be found no trace of any mundane contamination in his character.